got test knitters from all over the world. I'm so amazed that people wanted to try it out for me. So I've got a lady from Australia, I've got a lady from New Zealand, I've got 3 ladies from the United States, and I've got a lady from Canada. And I just wanted to drop in just for a little while today to talk about the release of my new pattern, the Tresness Summer Tea. And it went up on Ravelry on Monday the 26th of August, which was bank holiday in the UK. And in about 2 days, it had reached number 20. In the top 20, number 10 actually, in the Spotlight debut patterns. So I was really pleased with that. That was really exciting. They only sort of stay on there for about 4 days, and I got quite a lot of views. In fact, actually, it preempted me. Sorry, I'm just put my knee on the camera. It preempted me because I'd put it up on the Saturday thinking it was still in draft form, but by the time Bank Holiday Monday came and I activated the pattern, it had about 77 views, and I'm thinking 77 patterns could have been sold, and that was quite, so anyway, it's there now, which I'm really pleased about, and I'm so thankful for all my test knitters who trialed it out for me, made suggestions, and I did some alterations to it so that it's easier to follow. They all said how they liked the pattern because it was easy to follow, and that made me feel good. That made me feel that I'd done a good job with that. And thanks again to my tech editor as well, who helped me along the way. I also added some check boxes to the pattern, which I find useful to remember where I got to in a pattern, because in this pattern you will need to go to a chart section at the back of the pattern where all the lace charts are. A little bit about this pattern I think I need to talk about as a preview of what you will probably need to do when knitting it. One of my test knitters said there was enough lace knitting in the pattern to keep her interested. It's not heavily laced, and my idea for this pattern was to try and increase the yoke using the lace pattern. So it's I've done it quite simply, so nothing too difficult to achieve for somebody who's maybe a beginner who wants to have a bit of an adventure, you know what I mean, an adventure into lace. So here we go. This is mine in my size. Now what I've done is in different sizes you will get different rows or repeats of a certain pattern to fit into the length of the yoke. Now it's very important, and this is very important, that you make sure that you measure from here to your chest line as to how long you want your yoke, because all of us are different. So if for instance you have a shorter yoke line, then you won't need as many pattern repeats. So I think that is taken into account in the pattern. The bigger your yoke drop is, the more pattern work you'll have in your particular top. So down the bottom we have 2 lace patterns, and we also have the lace hem edging. So the lace hem edging matches in with body lace pattern 2, as you can see. So you must follow the pattern as it's written, and place your markers where it's written in the pattern. And then what I've also done is I've given you a little link to a private video on YouTube where you have a little tutorial on how to knit the lace edging. Now it looks complicated, doesn't it? But you will be so surprised at how easy it is. You have a selection of sleeves in that pattern. I've done a short sleeve, but you can do a long sleeve, a long plain sleeve, or a long lace sleeve, which incorporates some of this pattern here, this little lace pattern here. So there are options. There are also other options for shaping. This is the cropped version. You see, it's a cropped version, so there's no shaping in this at all. But if you wanted to do a longer version, then you can do waist shaping, which gives you a few more inches. And also, what I have done is a little optional extra, is put in some short row shaping round about here. Round about here, underneath the waist shaping, into the back of the hollow of your back, basically. So yeah, now when I was asked about this one, I have used this before, this positioning of short rows, to help raise the back of a top. But with this one, I don't really think you need that, because it's a boat neck width, isn't it? So that's entirely up to you whether you want to use the shaping, the short row shaping or not. The other thing as well is I have done a box in the at the beginning, section A, which gives you all the sizes. And what I've also done is incorporated the number of stitches you will need for each measurement, or rows that you'll need to achieve certain, the back length, for instance, etc., etc. This, because I'm quite a loose knitter, particularly around the lace, I suppose, I use a smaller needle. Now, again, the needle that's used on this particular one is a 4.5mm needle, US 7, I think. And so therefore, if you decide to go down a needle size because you're a loose knitter, my size, for instance, for a 44-inch chest, if I go down another needle size to say 4mm needles, I'm going to have to increase the number of stitches I require, or else I'll lose 8 inches around my chest. So it's a very important thing to remember. Make sure that when you you actually test your tension first. This is a fitted top. It doesn't have any positive ease at all. It's not negative ease. I would just say this is 0%. 0% to 5%, something like that. So just be careful. Make sure that you test your tension beforehand and that it matches with what's on the pattern. Otherwise, it will just be too big and it won't look as nice. It's meant to be a fitted t-shirt. Fitted to the chest. That's basically it. Make sure your chest measurement corresponds with the pattern. If your chest is slightly smaller than the actual pattern requires, then perhaps I would maybe go to the next size, but you could probably go down a bit, if you know what I mean, as well. Again, it's all down to your tension. So make sure you swatch beforehand on this one. I don't normally swatch myself because I kind of know what my tension's going to be. But when you're doing a new pattern like this, I think it's something you need to do, particularly if it's fitted. What else can I tell you about this top? This was made using 2 strands of fingering weight to make a double knit. I did add a little 1-ply merino to it because I wanted it to be a bit more yellow, and the merino was a fluorescent yellow, so I think that's made a good job of that. I had 1 strand of yellow and 1 strand of pink in cotton, which I had left from last year. I had some cones from Woolly Knits, 100% 4-ply cotton. Memory's terrible. And I therefore knit those 2 together, 1 in lemon and 1 in pink, which I think is quite nice. I love marling. I love putting together colours. And like I said, I added a 1-ply merino in a fluorescent yellow, which gave it more of a yellowy look to it, because that's what I wanted. Yeah. What else can I think to talk about on there? The girls, the testers, the ladies, have put their comments in on their Ravelry project. That's the word I'm looking for, which is attached to my pattern. What I'm going to do about the pattern is I'm going to put a link in the description below, and this will take you straight to the pattern. If you are not on Ravelry, you don't have to have an account with this one. Apparently, which I found out myself recently, there's a link there for those who don't have a Ravelry account and can just buy directly the pattern anyway. If you're on Ravelry anyway, I'll put the link to the pattern for you. Yeah. What else can I tell you about it? I've worn it several times and I find it very comfortable. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put some of the comments up on the screen in a bit with some of the pictures from the ladies who have test knitted this top for me. So if you wait till the end, you'll see that. In between times, I just wanted to say I'm sorry I've not been around for a little while. August was busy month for me, and I needed to concentrate on a few financial matters and things like that. So that's kind of flown by, and I never had the chance to video or anything. I did put up a couple of little videos that I'd done some time ago and just finished off. But mainly over the summer, I travelled a bit in July, and therefore, you know, the time's just flown by, and I don't know when I last put a video, or was that the one about, I think it was 62, episode 62, when I was talking about the actual patterns for a t-shirt that I wouldn't mind knitting, or those that have inspired me. And I'm trying another pattern now with my beautiful gifted yarns from Jameson's of Shetland, and I started knitting it in some cotton I'd got left, just to see what the yoke would be like. So I tried a little bit and I quite enjoyed that. I've taken it out again, and we'll try again at some stage. I don't know how far I'll get with that this month. Also, this month I will be doing another test knit. Because of the test knit for the Tresness summer tea, it's helped me to design the Evie simple yoke sweater that you've seen around. And so I've already written up some of it, so it just needs to be sorted out now, basically. Probably, I'm not sure if I'm going to send it to the tech editor or not. I might do, because knowing me, I'll have done something wrong. And then that'll be due for test knitting probably later on in the month. And that's because I would like this to be more of an autumn staple for your wardrobe, or even spring, if you know what I mean, because autumn, spring, sort of similar. Our autumn started almost 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. Excuse me, mid-August. Anyway, I'll leave it there for now. My battery's getting low. So I'll see you again soon. Let me know in the comments whether you have been able to buy the pattern and if you're enjoying knitting it. I really would like to hear your comments on it. If you're not subscribed already, please subscribe and have a look at my playlist on how I made the Tresness summer tea. And it's up there, or designed it, put it that way. Okay, see you soon. Keep knitting.